An interesting thing about this exhibit is that out of the 8 people in the exhibit, 5 of them were not born in the United States. And when we were curating the show, we had no idea that that was the case. So there is this world-conscious vision that is coming into this show that is very different than I think some of the exhibits that we've done in the past. And all of these artists are taking their vision from where they were born and where they grew up and translating it into a kind of international contemporary art. And I'm very proud to say that that is part of the Northwest, that we are a part of America where I think people do feel welcomed often. And this show is going to illustrate that.
It's not all that often that we as curators can so tightly combine historical work with contemporary work, and some of that contemporary work we don't even know what it is yet because the artists are actively working on it. So it's incredibly exciting to delve deeply into imagery that was created over a century ago while engaging with human beings and artists who are producing right at this very moment.
So each of the artists will have their own area where they can have their work in dialogue with Curtis. And then we'll have sort of critical pauses in between those vignettes, if you will, addressing some of the more critical issues around Curtis's work, like the stereotypes that have emerged out of Indian types, the idea of the vanishing native. Many of Curtis's images show the backs of Native people going off into the sunset. This was a trope, a very popular trope and also a very destructive one, as you can imagine. Native Fashion Now, incredibly innovative and fun exhibition of contemporary Native American designers. So there's about 100 works altogether representing 60 designers. The exhibition is organized in 4 thematic areas: pathbreakers, who through their work have sort of broken into the fashion industry, the mainstream fashion industry. Revisitors, it's a group of designers that are utilizing traditional design elements and traditional style in these new innovative ways. Activators, which are sort of everyday wear, but with a political edge. And then provocateurs, which is a set of designers that are working really in experimental and new ways.
I think our visitors will really get a sense of an artist deeply engaged with the printmaking medium. We often associate Warhol with his paintings and films, but printmaking was really central to his entire artistic career. It spanned from the very beginning all the way till the end.
You know, Andy Warhol combined consumerism, popular culture with fine arts to reinvent what art means for our society. And I think in many ways, not only will they get a better understanding of Andy Warhol, but they should come away with a much deeper appreciation.
And what's interesting for me is the themes that he expressed on those screen prints, his favorite medium, are just as relevant today as they were then. Those themes are so fresh, and maybe that's one of the reasons why, as I suggested, I think he's the most important artist of the latter half of the 20th century.
The exhibition is about the bronzes of the greatest sculpture of the modern era. Indeed, we mark the beginning of modernism in sculpture with the work of Rodin, which radically departed from traditional attitudes toward the presentation of the human form. Rodin carved marble, but his real medium was clay, and these works in clay were subsequently cast in bronze, and we will feature some of the great examples in this exhibition.
Northwest Filmmakers Festival is a regional festival, so we cover Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Alaska, British Columbia, and Montana, and there aren't a lot of regional film festivals out there. It's also called the Filmmakers Festival for a reason. It's all about the filmmakers. We show them resources available to them. We show their work to some really fantastic audiences who are ready for this kind of work. Animation, documentary, experimental, and narrative work, all of it comes together at the Northwest Filmmakers Festival.
Well, PIF is the Film Center's annual international survey, and we'll probably show 150 films, probably 100 features and 50 shorts from 36 countries. It's a citywide event, happens in probably 8 theaters all around Portland, over 200 screenings, a chance for people to not see everything, but to sort of broaden the horizons about what's out there, what exists besides the commercial marketplace.